Some stories begin with joy, some begin with sorrow, but this one, it begins with a mother's fear and a daughter's destiny, twisted long before she even knew her own name. In a quiet African town, where the wind carried whispers and secrets lived longer than people, Amara was the girl everyone admired. Beauty, grace, a bright future, glowing right in front of her. Yet, for no reasons, no one could explain. Love never stayed with her. Suitors came with smiles and promises, but they left with silence. People talked, Amara prayed, and Mama Isi, her mother, held on to a secret that could break them both. What happens when love becomes a cage? When protection becomes a prison? This is the story of a daughter who dared to claim her freedom, and a mother whose choices were swallowed by fear and old magic. A story about breaking chains. Hi my people, welcome back again to Mystery Echoes. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. Amara had always been the jewel of her town. Her beauty was the kind that made people pause. Her intelligence earned her respect, and her heart was kind beyond measure. But despite all this, she remained unmarried. She watched friends and neighbors marry, build homes and have children, while her heart remained empty. Each suitors who came close would leave after a few weeks without explanation, leaving her to wonder if she had been cursed. Every evening, Amara would sit by her window gazing at the town below, her hands clutching a small bundle of letters and proposals that never led anywhere. Why me? She whispered to herself. Why does love always slip through my fingers? Finally, she turned to one person she thought would understand her. Her mother, Mama Isi. Mama Isi was a woman of great respect in her community, known for her wisdom and her quiet power. Amara approached her one evening, eyes filled with tears. Mother, she said softly, her voice trembling, why can't I find a husband? I am ready. I am worthy. Why does no one stay? Mama Isi studied her daughter, her face calm but unreadable. My child, she said, there are paths that are not always clear to us. Perhaps we need help beyond what we know. We will pray, seek guidance, and ask for blessings. For weeks, mother and daughter visited churches and shrines, kneeling, praying, lighting candles, and pouring their hearts into their hopes for your husband. Amara prayed with all her soul, believing that each prayer brought her closer to love. But Mama Isi carried a secret she did not share. Hidden beneath her prayers were ancient charms, whispered incantations and rituals that used her own spiritual power to block Amara's marriage. In her mind, it was for protection, for keeping Amara close, for preserving the mother and daughter bond that Mama Isi valued above all else. But to Amara, it was unseen chains that bound her. One by one, suitors came and left. Each departure tore at Amara's heart, leaving her exhausted, confused, and desperate. She began to question herself. Was there something inherently wrong with her? Was she cursed? Doomed to a life without love? Then, one evening, everything changed. Amara was tidying the house when she noticed a loose floorboard beneath her mother's room. Curious and unable to fight her unease, she lifted it and discovered an old dusty box. Inside were books filled with incantations, spells, and rituals notes. Her hand trembled as she read, each page confirming her deepest fear. Her mother had been using her own spiritual power to keep Amara unmarried, to bind her life to her own. She was shocked and anger overwhelmed her. She confronted her mother immediately. "You?" she cried, her voice shaking. "All this time, it's been you? You've been keeping me from my life, from love." Mama Isi sat quietly as Amara confronted her. For a moment, the room felt heavy, like the walls themselves were listening. Amara's voice cracked with betrayal and pain, but Mama Isi's eyes carried something deeper, something older. Slowly, she sighed and lowered her gaze. "My child," she began, her voice trembling for the first time. "There are things you never knew, things I prayed you will never discover." She reached for the edge of her wrapper with shaking fingers, as though the truth itself weighed on her body. "Before you were born, life was not kind to me. I had no husband, no family, no support. I was alone and in fear. I sought protection where I should not have gone." Amara felt her heart thump painfully. Mama Isi continued, her eyes glistening. "So, I joined a coven. I wanted strength. I wanted a future. But every gift comes with a price. They ask for something precious. I refused to offer your life, but I agreed to something I did not understand." Her voice dropped in a whisper. "Your first daughter will never marry. Her destiny will be tied to yours. As long as she remains under your shadow, you will never fall." Amara gasped, her hand covering her mouth. Mama Isi nodded weakly. Tears streamed down her cheeks, the first Amara had seen in years. "So, that was what they told me. And I held on to you. I clung to you with fear and afraid of the spirit who will come for me if you broke free. That is why I blocked your suitors. That is why I prayed with charms hidden under my clothes. That is why love kept slipping from you." She looked up, her face breaking. "I did not want to hurt you, Amara. I only wanted not to lose the only child I had." The room fell silent, a silence full of pain, love, betrayal, fear, and a mother's confession too heavy for one heart to carry. Amara stood frozen, her breath shallow, her heart pounding against her ribs. She had imagined many things, but not this. Not a prophecy, not a coven, not a vow that had changed her life before she even took her first breath. For a long moment, she couldn't speak. Her mother's tears fell freely, the truth finally spilling out after years of silence and fear. Amara swallowed, her voice barely a whisper. "I was afraid of a word that once broke me, afraid of spirits I could not fight." Her mother said, I was not born
I
to
was
be your
not born
shield.
to be your shield, and you were
Amara
never
said
meant to be
quietly.
my prison.
And you were never meant to be my prison. The words cut deeply for both of them. That night, Amara lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to her mother's weak breathing through the wall. Her heart ached, but her path was clear. If she stayed, her destiny would remain trapped under the shadow of an old path. By dawn, she packed a small bag, not much, just enough for the road. Before she left, she looked at her mother one last time, sleeping restlessly, clutching her wrapper like a child, afraid of the dark. I forgive you, Amara whispered softly, but I must save myself. She stepped out into the morning light. Amara left home and traveled to the forest, seeking the counsel of a wise herbalist. The old woman welcomed her with knowing eyes, nodding as if she had expected her arrival. Together, they prepared for a ritual that would break the chains binding Amara's destiny. Under the full moon, herbs burned, chant filled the air, and the spirits of the forest whispered their approval. Amara felt the weight lift from her chest, felt the invisible chains shatter. For the first time in her life, her shadow felt whole. Her energy pulsed through her veins. She was free. But as they say, freedom came with consequences. As Amara walked back home days later, she found Mama Isi collapsed on her mat, her strength drained, her spirit dimmed. Stripped of the power she once clung to, she was now frail, trembling. A woman comforted by everything, she fell gravely ill. As the months passed, the life took a softer turn. Amara met a man, warm smile, kind eyes, who saw her exactly as she was, not cursed, not broken, not incomplete, just Amara. He loved her gently, deeply, and patiently. And for the first time in her life, love stayed. When he asked to marry her, her answer came with no hesitation. Yes, and she was ready. But Mama Isi, though weakened, though she was ill, refused to give her blessing. Amara approached her mother, holding her hand gently. Mother, she said softly, I love you, but I cannot let fear or control dictate my life. I must live my destiny. I will not let your past decide my future, even if it means moving forward without your blessing. Mama Isi looked at her daughter, her eyes glistening with tears. She wanted to argue, to hold her back, but she saw the determination in Amara's face. She knew she could not stop what was meant to be. Then she left with a man. And so, Amara married the man she loved. She embraced her freedom, her power, and her happiness. Together, they built a life filled with love, laughter, and joy. Her shadow was whole, her heart was full, and she walked her path with courage. Amara learned a powerful lesson. True freedom and happiness come from claiming your life, even when those we love try to control it. Courage and self-determination are more powerful than fear. Manipulation or even love. Sometimes they disguised as control. More things they happen for this level. Who would ever imagine that a mother, the one meant to guide a child's future, who hand that destiny to the shadows even before the child was born? Yet it happens far more than we admit. This story reminds us that not every wound comes from strangers. Sometimes the deepest betrayal comes from the hands we trusted most. But even then, healing begins the moment we choose ourselves, break free, and refuse to let another person's fear decide our future. Hi besties, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. See you some other time. Bye.